let's go ahead and do our first question. So this one comes from Phil Brandon of Rocktown Distillery. And he says, I've been distilling for 12 years and I've won major awards for my bourbon and sell all that we make. However, should I buy more stills to expand production or source new make from Kentucky distilleries?
Well, that's a great question. I would ask myself, so obviously, what are my goals? And am I, I think you said he's in Philadelphia?
He's Arkansas.
Arkansas. Gosh,
Yeah.
why did I think Phil? I don't, how did I hear that? But
Yeah, Rocktown has been around for a while.
okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're winning your yard and you're content with that and you're happy and that your customers are happy, I would continue just doing what you do. But if your goal is to kind of get outside of, that Arkansas area and push beyond your audience you have now, sourcing is going to be a great option for you because you're going to have product that's going to be, maybe it's not ready of age yet, but it's going to be faster than waiting on yourself to get a still made and waiting for that whole process to get going. That you're probably 2 to 3 years for that to happen. And so I would just look at my goals and say, how content am I with my current audience? Do I really want to expand this outside of that? And who am I trying to appeal to? And Kentucky bourbon's always going to appeal to bourbon drinkers, but also too, if you're have a great product and it's unique, the Arkansas product would be great as well. So I don't know that it's hard to know without knowing his end goal there.
So, what's interesting here about this is we have a question here from an A-list craft distiller. Like this is an A-list craft distiller. He has bottled and bond bourbon out there. He has super fans. He has people who carries his torch in our community and like social media circles. And, I hear this all the time from craft distillers, and it pains them. It pains them to see a source bottle outsell theirs. And there is an incredible hurt from distillers like Phil when they see that. And I think what that question is alluding to, it's not about scale. It's not about creating something unique. He is just trying to get his whiskey on the same playing field as just pick a random MGP or Barton source product that's on the shelf selling for $60. He's trying to get that same level. And obviously there's a lot that goes in there. And I'll push back to Phil and say, like, I don't think you should ever doubt yourself as a distiller. I've tasted a lot of your stuff over the years. Have I reviewed everything favorably? Absolutely not. But I've not reviewed anybody's, 100% favorably. But you have won numerous competitions and blind tastings. Some of my colleagues have given you incredibly high scores. And I think too, you have a group of consumers in Arkansas who want to support you. And I would say grow that base. Do whatever you can to super serve Arkansas consumers and stop worrying about the source product. And so, like, if you have the money, if you have the ability to upgrade your equipment to increase capacity, I'm putting my vote for that because I think the world needs a lot more Arkansas bourbon and more states like Arkansas with lead distillers competing at the highest levels than we need another contract distilled Kentucky product.
Well,
That's me as a fan.
Fred knew the brand. I did not know the brand, so it's hard for me to understand the goals, but I totally agree with you, Fred. It's like Seth Godin's a great marketing genius, and he always says, like, have this win the most smallest viable audience and have like super fans, that, and just cater to them and then just keep catering to them. And that's, be true to yourself. You don't have to be on the same level as all the bigger brands,
And you know who did the best job of that I've ever seen? New Riff. As soon as they came out, before they had a drop of bourbon on the market, they created like, what was their Ranger Club?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They created that before anything. And they were basically selling futures. And I was like, this was 2013 or 14.
Like, they're doomed to fail.
I was like, this is not smart. Like, here I am, like this newly minted author walking around like I know everything, right? And boy, did they nail a home run with that. And I've seen brands do this, and I think the winning ticket for someone like Rocktown is to really focus on who you are. Like Leopold Brothers, they focused on who they are, and they created a fan base immediately in Colorado, and it grew out. Arkansas has a fan base ready to be activated, and I know that Phil is tapping into that. I'm glad he asked that question because I want him to believe in himself, and I want him to know that what he is doing is getting those awards and winning critics for a reason, and just follow that.
Yeah.
Follow that.
I would take a page out of the beer world too. It's like, you know, you have all these craft breweries in in individual towns, and they all have their style and their town, and that's their market, their niche. You know, they don't have to be Sam Adams or Coors or all the Blue Moons or whatever. Just like we think, I think American whiskey as a whole category is it's not Kentucky bourbon that's going to be growing. And so if you're like the best Arkansas distiller and you're known as that, you can take that places, way further than just being another source brand out there.